Hi, class. This week, for week 7, we discussed disability. Disability defined is a physical or mental condition that limits a person's movement, senses, or activities. According to the Census Bureau, in 2012, there were 56.7 million people with a disability. That means that 19% of the U.S. population was disabled. More common disabilities are blindness, mental retardation, learning disabilities, paralysis, deformity of the limbs, and the list goes on. But what about the not so common forms of disabilities? The disabilities that you don't normally see or even hear about. The first thing that comes to mind for me is stuttering. So, what is stuttering? Stuttering, otherwise known as stammering, is a speech disorder that affects the fluency of speech. Those that stutter have difficulty with the normal flow of speech. Although the exact cause of stuttering has not been found, there are 3 types of stuttering conditions. Developmental stuttering starts during childhood when a child's language abilities are unable to meet their verbal demands. So basically, the child's mind is working faster than what their mouth can produce speech. This can continue on throughout adulthood. And this type of stuttering can also be genetic. Neurogenic stuttering can occur from a stroke or head or brain trauma, causing an issue with how the brain coordinates the different components involved with speaking. And lastly, psychogenic stuttering is caused by emotional trauma. Treatment for stuttering can be therapy, medicine, electronic devices, and or self-help groups. And all of those treatments are there to help control fluency, either with emotional help or physical help. Now, I'm not sure if many people considering stuttering a disability. However, according to the ADA, a person with a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more of the major life activities of such an individual, or there is a record of such an impairment, or an individual is regarded as having such an impairment, has a disability. Since stuttering is a speech disorder that causes involuntary loss of control of speech organs and can prohibit the major daily life activity of speaking and even working, can be considered disability. I've seen stuttering firsthand, and I've seen how it can affect a person. I've seen small cases where a person will stammer occasionally, but it wasn't until my son was about 3.5 years old that I was able to see a severe case. When it started, I was told that it was normal, that he would outgrow it. Over time, it would clear up. So as time went on, his speech did not get any better, but it in fact got worse. It was so bad that he would hit himself in order to try to get the words out. And at one point, he just stopped speaking altogether. My son and I would cry together, and he would cry out of frustration, but for me, I would cry because no one wants to see their child struggle or their child hurt. My fear was that he would go to school and he would be teased and that his academics would suffer because he couldn't effectively communicate. After about 2 years of therapy, he had progressed leaps and bounds and he no longer needed to go to therapy. And although he doesn't stutter much anymore, this was a time in my life that I will never forget. In a nutshell, there are many different disabilities that affect millions every day. And these disabilities can hinder a person not just physically and emotionally, but socially as well. It's up to us, the people around them, to make life worth living for them. We see life through a different scope because we're not disabled. And a scope that with just a little bit of patience and love, we can share with those that don't see life through the same scope. Thanks for listening.